Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Gray. I am a local Atlanta actor, and I have been with Atlanta Theater to Go for more than 10 years. COVID 19 has not only changed a lot of things in our lives, it has also prevented theaters and entertainment venues from offering live performances, and I'm sad to say that has included us. But since we are all committed theater people here at Atlanta Theater to Go and believe that the show must go on, members of our troupe have volunteered to create a special holiday program just for you. I'm delighted to introduce our video presentation called Holiday Memories, a Tribute to Seniors. It's a collection of stories written about or by senior adults. Some of the stories are funny, some are heartwarming, and every one of them is true. From our beginning, the mission of Atlanta Theater to Go has always been to enrich the lives of seniors where they live and gather. And we normally do that by bringing professional theater events to senior communities all over the Atlanta area. But times have changed, and we are changing with them. So in this time of pandemic and Zoom, we are still bringing theater to you, but in a new way. We hope that all of you have a safe, healthy, and joyous holiday season, and we really hope that all of you are with us next year sometime for one of our live performances. So now enjoy Holiday Memories, a tribute to seniors.
I'd like to tell you about a holiday gathering where spirits were definitely made merry. I miss Sally. She was my best friend, and Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without her. Sally was in the hospital. A neurological disorder kept her there. It was a military hospital where insurance company regulations about the length of hospital stays didn't apply. Sally had been in the hospital for weeks, and nobody was predicting when she would be home. My husband sympathized with me. He liked Sally too, and as a physician had often treated her and her family. I think we can plan a little surprise, he said with a twinkle in his eye. The night of our annual Christmas party, he took me aside and said that he would be gone for about an hour. Where are you going? I asked, shocked. After all, he was the host. Let's just say I have a little mission, he said. Are you going to the hospital? I persisted. I thought you were off call. You'll see, was all he would say. Nearly later, an hour later, an Air Force ambulance pulled up to our door. Now what, I thought. Two orderlies came to our door carrying a stretcher. My hands trembled as I opened the door. What if something had happened to my husband, Roger? It wasn't Roger. It was Sally. Roger had kidnapped her from the hospital under the ruse of telling them that he was taking her for a consultation. A large red bow had been pinned to her dark brown hair. Sally was my Christmas gift. The ambulance driver and corpsman, part of the plot, had a cup of punch and said they would return for Sally in an hour. Until then, she was ours. We didn't give her any alcohol since she was a patient, but we fed her cookies and toasted her with champagne until the appointed time. Everybody had a Sally story to tell, to which we would shout, "Here, here," and pour more champagne. Our spirits were definitely made merry, although we had tears in our eyes when the orderlies came for her. Sally recovered and went home in due time. We had a Christmas I will never forget.
Hi, my name is Gloria, and I'm going to read a story from another Gloria, Gloria S. Goes this way. My favorite Christmas memory is when I got engaged to my husband of 50 years. We were on a date right around Christmas time in Macon, Georgia. Well, parking is what it was called then. I never would tell my mother that. I would have gotten in trouble.
Hi, my name is Monsiela Elder, and I will be reading a story I wrote called A Christmas Miracle, a Loretta Young story as told to me by my sister, Toni Young. Toni Young was the oldest of 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. The girls being bookends, the oldest and the youngest. Toni wore our last name of Young proudly and believed that everyone with the same last name was family. Every week, our famous aunt, a beautiful woman, floated down winding stairs, making a grand entrance through double doors into the living room of millions of homes through the magic of television. Yes, the Loretta Young was our aunt, according to Toni's theory. Mama didn't have a lot of money. We were considered by society standards as poor, and the kids in the neighborhood teased us all the time. Oh, not because of being poor, because we all drank from that cup, but they felt this gave them some sort of leverage. Why don't you get some money from your rich Aunt Loretta? Was a statement they echoed. We didn't care. Very rarely did we want for anything. Mama made sure we presented ourselves as someone a rich relative would be proud of. As children, we were never without toys, but what Toni coveted most was a doll. She fantasized about her first real baby. Once the promise was made that the doll was on the way, Toni named her soon-to-be-born baby Patricia, which was a lovely name. But when the much-anticipated doll arrived, Toni could see the resemblance immediately. Her baby looked just like our aunt. She had to be named Loretta Young. Determined to be the best mama, Toni treated Loretta like our mama treated us. She would change her clothes daily, comb her hair, play with her, read her stories, and even cried for her. You see, our brother, Jockey, the next in line of the 4 siblings, would actually take a belt to Loretta to get even with Toni if Toni made him mad. Toni was born on November 23rd, and Jockey was born on November 24th, 1 year and 1 day later. Toni knew this was God's plan and believed the entire United States gave thanks for their birth, celebrating with a day called Thanksgiving. This year, Toni would add Loretta to the celebration with a coming out party. She wanted to show Loretta off to the guests who were invited to the huge Thanksgiving birthday dinner Mama had planned. All the girls in the Young family wore earrings. Toni knew if Loretta was to be presentable, she had to have her ears pierced. Having watched our grandma pierce ears many times, Toni went straight to the special needles. She was determined, but try as she might, could not get the needles to go through Loretta's ears, breaking every needle. Finally, Toni found an oversized safety pin and success. Loretta now had pierced ears, but no earrings. Toni went to Grandma and confessed what she had done. Grandma not only forgave her, she donated a pair of beautiful silver hooped earrings for Loretta. With freshly washed and ironed clothes, Loretta was almost ready to sit at the dinner table with the family. But one thing was missing. On special occasions like this, Mama would straighten our hair. This was a rare treat because most of the time we wore our hair in natural braids. Toni knew she had to straighten Loretta's hair. Sneaking the hot comb and the hair grease from the bathroom cabinet, Toni waited until everyone was busy in the dining room, then put the hot comb on the stove as she had seen Mama do. While the comb was getting hot, she greased Loretta's hair, knowing that grease would make our hair shiny and straight. When the comb began to smoke, it was ready. Tony took the hot comb out of the fire, wiped it with the old white pressing cloth to make sure it wasn't too hot, took a handful of parted hair, and being careful not to burn the ear, ran the comb through Loretta's hair. Immediately, the hair began to melt and stick to the straightening comb. What was going on? This wasn't what happened to our hair when Mama did it. Tony tried and tried, but she couldn't get the melted synthetic hair off the hot comb. The harder she pulled, the more the hair came out. Oh no, Loretta's hair was ruined. That Thanksgiving, Tony could not bring Loretta to the dinner table. She had caused her baby to look ugly. Jockey would laugh uncontrollably at the doll, bringing grief and shame to Tony for what she had done. Tony cried for days. Not knowing how to undo the mistake, she combed Loretta's hair into several hairstyles, hoping to make it look better, but to no avail. Every day she measured Loretta's hair, praying it had begun to grow back, but no change. She needed a miracle. Tony promised Loretta that Christmas was a time for miracles and that something would happen to bring about a change in her appearance. On Christmas morning, we woke up early and gathered around the tree, eagerly awaiting Mama to come downstairs and pass out the presents. We were all very happy with our gifts, but Tony still secretly prayed for a miracle. When we thought all the gift giving was over, Mama reached behind the tree and picked up a small package, wrapped differently than all the others. She handed the package to Tony. It was so small, Tony couldn't imagine what it could be. Reading the gift tag, she realized this package wasn't for her, it was for Loretta. Ripping the paper off revealed a tiny wig, just the right size. Tony placed the wig on Loretta. Her prayers had been answered. Loretta was her pretty baby again, a true Christmas miracle. Told to me by Tony Young, my 72-year-old sister. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lois Kepke. I'm reading a story from Lucy Humphreys. I was born and raised in Norgay, Virginia. My father owned an apple orchard near Williamsburg. After I married, my husband was transferred to Montgomery, Alabama. That Christmas, I had not been home in over a year. We took vacation and made the 16-hour trip home. Christmas that year was so memorable. The next morning when we got up, the ground was covered with snow. Our children had not seen snow in over 2 years, and they were thrilled. Then we enjoyed all the traditions I'd experienced growing up. On Christmas Day, we had fried oysters for breakfast. Then Mother prepared a traditional holiday feast with turkey, ham, and all the trimmings. Everyone in the family was invited, and since I was one of 9 children, about 20 to 25 people came. The adults sat at a large table in the dining room, and the children sat at a small table. Dad said the blessing. It was great with so many in the family. It was a Christmas I will never forget.
Hello, my name is Virginia Vogt. Tina Blackney gives us this holiday memory about family. My grandmother died when my father was 24 years old, 10 years before I was born. Grandpa was then remarried to a woman whom he'd met dancing while out on the town. My father and his brothers and sister didn't think much of Diet. She wasn't their mother, and Grandpa had met her at a dance hall. Every Christmas Eve, Grandpa's 4 kids and spouses and 11 grandkids assembled at his and Dee-Ette's home for treats and merriment. The adults enjoyed cocktails and Christmas carol singing, and the children were treated to homemade Christmas cookies and ribbon candy. Grandpa had suffered a debilitating stroke when we grandkids were toddlers, so much of our visits with him were limited to a brief hello and a kiss on the cheek. It was important to Grandpa that he bestow gifts on all of us, so at the appointed time, Dee-Ette would call the grandchildren together to find the envelope on the Christmas tree with her or his name on it. Inside was a crisp $5 bill and a signed Christmas card. All 11 grandchildren would line up by Grandpa's chair, thank him for the gift, and kiss him on the cheek. Now, there were so many of us, most of us girls, that Grandpa couldn't keep us all straight. Grandma Dee, as we called her, knew each one of us and how old we were. When Grandpa struggled to remember who we were, Grandma Dee reminded him. Now I ask you, who do you think baked those cookies, signed each Christmas card, went to the bank to request 11 crisp $5 bills, and placed them all on the tree? It wasn't Grandpa, who was confined to a chair. Thank you, Grandma Dee, the lady from the dance hall.
Christmas of 1929 is the first memory that I have of Christmas and of Santa Claus. In January, we moved to Mr. Joe King's farm to become sharecroppers. A little while later, my grandpa Greenwood died. In these sad times, I think everyone in the family was searching for something, anything to brighten our Christmas. But to me, it was just magical. I remember it well. I remember that special season, though few presents would we see. We were rich as we could be. Oh, I remember. I remember. I remember it well. Nellie spent a year collecting tinfoil from our gum and wrapped it round these sweet gumballs, and from the tree they hung. These pretty silver balls were such a puzzlement to me. I couldn't understand what Santa wanted with a tree. And all the older children searched the woods for holly berries, and sprigs of it were placed around the house to make it merry. And Mama made delicious cakes and pies and special treats, and Daddy bagged a gobbler for that baked wild turkey treat. And I remember it well. I remember those first Decembers, angels telling tales of love Jesus sent down from above. Oh, I remember, I remember, I remember it well. At last the eve of Christmas came, with time to write Saint Nick. We put our notes in shoe boxes and hopped in bed real quick. And 7 little children said their prayers and went to bed. And Nellie helped me write my note, and this is what it said. Dear Santa, I am a little boy, 3.5 years old. My name is Paul. I have tried to be a good boy this year. Hope you have a good trip with your reindeer tonight. please leave me a spinning top that hums, a cap, an apple, an orange, and some candy. Love, Paul. When I got up, I found out from those that could read that Santa had left me a note which said, "Dear Paul, I'm all out of caps, but I'll leave you a bugle. Love, Santa." I remember it well. I remember those first Decembers, angels telling tales of love, Jesus sent down from above. Oh, I remember it well. I remember it well. I remember that special season, though few presents would we see, we were rich as we could be. Oh, I remember. I remember.
Hi, I'm Mary Claire Klooster, and I'd like to read a story to you today called Christmas with Mother, written by Nell and Lindy. One of my most meaningful holiday memories was the last Christmas with my mother when she was able to join us to celebrate this special holiday. It was an unforgettable day as we opened presents, ate together, and as I observed her enjoying her special dishes. Like the dressing she taught me how to prepare, and how we reminisced about Daddy and how things used to be. Although the food was delicious, opening gifts were fun. My favorite memory is of us having Mom with us, sharing our joy and enjoying the family together. These memories will be with us always, especially as we celebrate Christmas this year, and will remain with us for years to come. And to make Christmas even more perfect, we enjoyed Lindy's mother's orange cake, which we look forward to every Christmas. The recipe has been passed down to our 2 granddaughters for many more years of enjoyment during the holidays ahead.
Hi, my name is Pat Smith. I'm going to be reading a story by Louise Saroon. The title is Plenty of Love. We were very poor when I was coming up. Got 1 pair of shoes for the year. Saved our box, and that's what we put our goodies in. Got 1 doll, maybe, and an apple, orange, some raisins, a few nuts, and some chocolate drops for candy. That was it. After I married, had 6 children, couldn't afford everything they wanted, but I've been told that they had plenty of love. That's all that mattered. One year was able to buy 2 of the children mini bikes and a watch. They thought they had died and gone to heaven when they got those 2 gifts. Things did get a little better as I got older. Had to work hard to keep all in food and clothes, but that was fine.